No.
That song is funny. Have you heard that entire song?
No.
Are you? Man, I'm gonna have to email that to you, send it to you something. It is therapeutic.
Thank you. That's so beautiful. Thank you. Oh
Did
my
I miss a? So, ladies and gentlemen, you may have seen Brown Foxy around the circuit of Black YouTube. You may have seen her on the channel of Simply Stephanie, Cynthia G, or The Honest Truth. Sis has a background. Forgive the way that I'm speaking. I just got my Invisalign put in today, so
Oh,
like
okay.
just getting used to speaking with them is like a whole nother thing. So
Oh.
the title is "Who's Really Dying Alone?" Who is your emergency contact? What's really going on? And Brown Foxy, should I call you Brown Foxy? Should I call you Brown? Should I call you Fox? Miss Jackson if you're nasty. How do I address you?
Miss Fox is fine.
Miss Fox. Okay. Hey, Sumri. Hey, Darren. So good to see you guys. So can you start off with a little bit of your background? Because I want to show people why they should be listening to you and why you are an authority on this topic. Can you talk a little bit about your professional background, educational background? Don't dox yourself, just whatever you're comfortable with.
No. Well, I'm over 40, so you already know that's season experience. I
Period.
worked
That's
in
literally professional age. That's what they call it.
Oh yeah, I worked in healthcare for about 28 years. Um,
Oh,
I have my degree in health information management, so I deal with a lot of data, a lot of records. Also I'm from New York City, and I live in the within the five boroughs there. I'm around. I see everything: Harlem, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Queens. So it's like I'm a very analytical by nature person. Like I'm very observant around me. Like I analyze a lot of things of why when they building up a building, why did they put the building there? I always question everything. So I've always been like that since I was a kid. So I think I'm in the wrong profession. I should have been a detective anyway, but so however, so what I mean by I'm observant, I watch and I look at things and I see how I analyze people's behavior,
mm,
and I always put like people who have patterns. Like for instance, Harlem. You're in Harlem. There's a lot of homeless people there, a lot of drug addicts, and
yeah.
most of them are black males. I hardly see white. I hardly see Asians, Indians. Is all of them are black males. Okay, they on the trains. The homeless in New York City is mostly black males.
Mhm.
Why is that happening? What's the cause? You see, these are the things that I always ask around me in or life and everything. You understand? It's always a cause and effect. And it's like, it's to the point of what's going on here. You have to find out it's drugs, is the societies around them, is the mindset. So back to the question where we were on honest truth.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this. I used to do registration about 15 years ago or so. I started registration 15 years ago. You left that about probably about yeah, about 10 years now left. Anyway, so I've noticed a pattern because I worked at a hospital in Manhattan. So I started, like the white man will come in and you'll ask them, "Hi, how are you, Mr. Jones? Your name, is this your correct name? Yes. Okay, your age, your correct date of birth, 10/10/41. Okay. Okay, who's your emergency contact? Oh, that's my wife Joan. We've been married for 30 years. Oh, you know how white people are. They like to share everything.
Right, for sure. Overshare.
And then I was like, okay, always white men they will come in. They always have their wife with them. Always married, or they have the significant other, their fiance,
Right.
a
They don't do
certain
anything.
always. It's like white men just like to be with someone.
Mhm.
So I've noticed that pattern. Remember, I'm getting patients coming in because I was working in an outpatient facility, so they will come in constantly. Most of the white men that came in there always had a wife or a significant other. Okay, let's get to the Asian men. I'm talking about Chinese now. Asian, Korean, whatever. They always come there with their wife, vice versa. I'm talking about the men, but they always had a wife. And they're
Mhm.
so cute. They come in there, they both short, the same height.
Right.
They shared each other glasses. She's helping fix his hair. Or they always have their children with them for translation purpose. Some of them, if they need translation.
Mhm.
Okay, Indians, they're coming. The Indians are from India or from Bangladesh or Pakistan. Always have a wife. Their wife is always there, or they have other family. The family, because the families come and support.
Right.
Um, Hispanics, they come there. They always have. If they're not married, they always have a whole bunch of family.
They do numbers. They do
Right.
numbers all over the nation. Like a Mexican woman cannot deliver without 8 people trying to get into the delivery room.
Yes.
All over the nation, same.
Yes, you're exactly right. They always
And the
come.
healthiest babies, rich or poor.
Right. They always come in like the group is the aunt, the cousins, the everyone
Facts.
always comes through. That's what I've noticed with that group.
Mhm.
Now, when the black man comes in, majority of the black men always sorry, no offense to the black guys. I know you guys are decent, but the black men start knowing the pattern. Always alone. They never have not even a girlfriend. Uh not you ask them, okay, what's her name? Mr. John Smith. Yeah. Okay, are you married, single, divorced? I'm single. Right?
Like
And then,
proud.
yeah, and it's like majority of them have that. Like, I'm single. I'm single. Like it's a honor to be single. Okay. Then I'm like, so, okay, who's your emergency contact? My mother.
Uh-uh.
And then I started, and then when you did it once, you did it twice. And I'm like, now with my analytical mind, I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I said to myself, majority of the black men that come here, they're always never married, and they always have their mother down as the emergency contact. And you know how old they be? They be like 50 years old.
So the mom is like
It
65, 70.
has, yeah, if you think about it, depending on how old she had him, but I started noticing the pattern, and I said to myself. Then it got to the point that at the time my supervisor, she was black, and I started to do my own tally, and I used to go to her and say, today, and she looked at me. She said, "Oh my God, you serious?" And then we
Wow.
started. Yes, I mean it
Well, you
got
really
to.
are a data scientist. Did you see when Sister Samory Bliss called you a data scientist?
Oh yeah, and actually that's why I'm going for my master's. I'm studying for that right now. My master's
Wow.
degree in data
Okay.
science. Yeah, because I'm telling you, I'm very analytical. I can't help it. It's something I can't turn off. But I started noticing the pattern. And then also, if they have someone, right, they
Mhm.
always have a common law. Oh, that's my common law. They have the good girlfriend, but she's a common law. And I don't see common law on Asians. I don't see common law on whites. I don't see in any other race but black. And then what's so funny, when they come in with their common law with their girlfriend they live with, and you ask them your marital status, they will say single, but then they will have her down as common law. And then their faces always look shameful. They are never happy because it's kind of like, I'm single, but she's my common law. Like, I don't want nobody calling me no common law in the first place. I don't even like that. the name, but
It's not a nice title.
it's not a nice title. It's like you're common. But the thing is that the man said, I'm single, and oh, that's my common law wife.
We got girlfriends, wives, baby mamas, side chicks, mistresses, and common laws.
Exactly.
I don't want to be no common law.
Exactly. The name of it, and what I'm trying to say is, I don't see no white. I don't see white. I don't see, maybe a couple of times Hispanics I did, but not as much as black. Okay?
Right, but I wonder with the Hispanics if it's a different reasoning, you know?
Right. But yeah, but they
Paperwork,
really,
immigration, green card, citizenship,
mm-hmm,
learning the law,
right. So,
avoid.
but what I'm trying to say is, it's like I don't see any other race, you know, with that name, and they come in, they have someone, but this is so they always have their mother down, or they don't have anyone, or they put down a friend, and not even their kids. Now, the black woman, when she comes in, I used to do registration for the black woman. Yeah, most majority of black women didn't, they weren't married. They always divorced. Always see that they were divorced, or they
Hmm.
not married. But guess what? They always have their kids, their daughter, their son, as the emergency contact. Do you understand? They always had have someone, their sister. They always have someone specifically, as their emergency contact. So then, like I said, in my mind, I'm like, and mind, this is starting like 15 years back before YouTube came to talk about this. I've been noticing this pattern. And so when I hear things like Mr. Kevin Samuels talk about winter is coming, and black woman's going to die alone, that is a freaking lie. Okay?
Wow.
That is a lie, because you can see it all around. I hear stories all the time. One of my girlfriend's husband had a friend who they used to gamble with. I guess they play, whatever. They said that they noticed they haven't seen him. When they tried to check up on, they found that the man died
Hmm.
in his room, not an apartment, a room that he was renting, and he was in his 50s, his
Wow.
late 50s. He died by himself. He didn't have no wife. He had no kids. He had rented a room. He must have died of a heart attack. And this is true. I'm seeing it all around. I'm hearing this is going back, like, let's say 20 years now. So when I hear Kevin Samuels trying to, tell these men these things, it angers me, because I'm like, you're lying to them. Because why are you talking about, oh, black woman, you're gonna die alone. Nobody want no, but black women have their kids. Black women will have a support system. They have a support system. You know what I'm saying? They have friends. They have groups. They have this. They always have people, but black men don't, because they don't keep the relationship. They don't take care of their kids. Haven't given child support, and then other kids hate them,
Right.
and then they don't take care of themselves. They're not married. They don't get married. They don't have like a person who's there to monitor them, to say, hey, go take a checkup.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Do
him
they even have
telling,
caregivers? Do black men have caregivers? Like, do you know a percentage or a guesstimate?
question, what's the best way to look at, um I can't figure it out now, but I can say, like, let's say, you could say 90% of the black men that came through the registration was like that.
Mhm.
Oh, are you talking about dying as well?
Yeah, like hospice or end of life care or
You know what? There was an article that I saw, and I think Sin had brought it up too. I saw a while back about that, and they did talk about it. They said a lot of. I have to go look for it, because I didn't. I forgot to to, because usually I like to like research and show, but they said the majority of black men do die alone because of this that situation.
I would love for you to email me, email that to me if you have some
Right.
time.
No,
Really
I'll.
quick, do you see this question by Summary Bliss
Hmm.
across the screen? It's a question specifically for you. It says, what's the best way to look at stereotypes? How can I deal with not being prejudiced? I'm going to try not to usurp your accent. Anybody who has an accent, if you're talking to me, I will end up eventually sounding like you. I don't know what it is. It's
What's
extreme
what's the
empathy.
best way to look at stereotypes? What did she mean by that? What's the best way to look at stereotype? What's a stereotype? They say black men. That was
Yeah,
stereotyped the black
she's
men.
she's basically saying, how can she deal with not being prejudiced, right? Because on one hand, right, Foxy,
Hmm.
stereotypes is basically shorthand information. It gives
Hmm.
you something with which to interact with the world. When you don't know things, you're like, all right, these potatoes taste like this. Bread has gluten. Now,
Hmm.
you might come across certain kinds of breads that don't have gluten, but in general, you're like, all right, it's got gluten. I don't want any bread. Give me the lettuce wrap. And this is like, how dare you judge me as, I'm gluten free, you know?
Hmm.
And so, like, with stereotypes, it's the same way. So she's like, like, what's the best way to look at stereotypes? I know personally for me, I think they all come from somewhere, right? They
Yeah,
all,
well, stereotypes is just look around. Just look around you. I mean, you see, because stereotype is a word that's always used, and they're like, well, like me, I get stereotyped all the time. I go into the TJ Maxx and the store. Guess what? The workers are following me around. This person come here acting like she fixing stuff and watching me at the same time. You see all the white people walking around. One day I was at the TJ Maxx in New York City by the 8th Avenue, that side, and I was walking in there trying to get a gift for my mom as I
Mhm.
was in the area. I said, "Oh, okay, they have a TJ Maxx here, whatever." This is over by Broadway, that side. If you're familiar with New York City, and I went into the store and I'm looking around, and I mean the amount of people that were there, but then I got followed. And I said to myself, so I said to the worker, I'm not going to steal anything. So I don't know why you following me for. And it's like, he kind of like, oh, like I caught him. You got white people walking around willy nilly. They be stealing too.
Can I tell
Okay.
you something
But,
that I learned as a journalism major? Back
uh-huh.
when I was an undergrad, the number one population in America, when you're talking petty theft,
Hmm.
is white girls between 18 and 25. And the
Hmm.
second population is their mothers.
Oh,
Is their
yes.
mothers. They will snatch a lip gloss real quick. You got that eye palette sitting out there real quick, a eyebrow razor real quick. I mean, anything, swoop, whoop de scoop,
I,
everywhere.
I concur. I concur. I used to work at a Macy's. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It
Yes.
used to be A&S. It used to
Yeah.
be A&S, but then, Macy's took over. It's in this area, Long Island. It's in Manhasset. Manhasset is like rich.
Mhm.
Um, and let me tell you something. I worked there and I couldn't believe in my eyes. And at the time, I was like, what, 17? So, I was like, oh my God, like, the thought that you have about white people and everything. You see them come in. I mean, these ladies came in with diamond rings, fur coats, driving the Mercedes Benz, and they were in there stealing. And then
Absolutely.
and in my head, I couldn't comprehend because I was young then. Because you always see white people as always having money, this and that. Yeah, they were catching them, and then they didn't try to arrest them too much because it make them look bad. They didn't want to get sued, so they kind of let them go. But the black ones came in. Oh no, they even had a girl handcuffed to the chair.
No, I can't.
But with the white, oh, they kind of like, oh, okay, pat on the hand and let go. And they came in. They had fur coats, driving out with their miserable as hell. They were stealing, and it's true. They go in there, they'll steal a socks, little piece, anything small. They just drop it in the bag, lip gloss, all kinds of things. Yeah.
It's like they punish the people who may steal from having a need, whereas people who are stealing, like these are career thieves and career criminals. I remember my uncle's family went on a cruise and all of their luggage was stolen. That's not a little black kid, grabbing some,
Mm-hmm.
some food or some Jordans or something. I'm like, all of their luggage, those are career criminals ruining lives. And you know who has access to cruises and who doesn't. It wasn't a bunch of black men on that cruise. It was, you know.
Oh yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
thing, and you know, colorism has a lot to do with it as well. You know, they have this narrative. So when the narrative is painted out there that you're okay, you're this, they don't do that. Like no, Arab dude have their store, and they selling weed. That's why they open 24/7. Asians, they're in gangs and they do a lot of trade coming in. They do a lot of things, but you see they're masculine in their business, but they're not flashy when they do their crimes. Black people are flashy when they do their crimes. You understand? You know, you just did that PPP loan, and now you're driving a Maserati, and you living in the projects.
Right.
Like it's stuff like that. Asian and the other people don't do it. When they do their crimes, they be having ashy foot, leg, ankle.
Cargo
they,
short, van,
yeah.
low key.
Oh, like I'm sorry, I'm not even reading the thing. I'm sorry, guys. Comment on the security for yeah. See,
That's
no true
crazy.
family.
What is the benefit then, Foxy? What's the benefit of a common law union if there's no security, financial protection, no financial protection? Like, what? Why would you want to be common law? Like, what's the benefit? There's got to be something.
Is you know what I think some women who get themselves involved in that, as long as they have the man and it's okay, they can live with them. Oh, I have a story to tell you about that. I know someone right now. That's why I don't know how people think, because I mean I'm just saying, whenever time I think about it, it's like that could never be me. Um, her how did it go? It was okay. Her father was married before,
Mhm.
never divorced his first wife. Okay, I want everybody to hang in there, stay on. Her father was married to his first wife, never divorced the first wife, right?
Wow.
Got with her mother, okay? They had her and her other two siblings, okay? They've been
Mhm.
together for 30 years. Listen, I don't even want to, every time I think about that, I just shake my head. Did you know when the man died? Okay, her mother and her father bought the house. Remember, he was still married to the wife. They've been together for like 30 years, had kids, whatever. Did you know that when the man died, you know who got everything, right?
The first
Okay.
that
Now you tell me, seriously, why would I be with a man for over 30 years or whatever time, have 3, 4 kids with him, and he was still attached to his wife, his first wife? So then when he died, the first wife was like, no, she want half of the house.
right.
And they had to sell the house. My thing is, as a woman, why would you even subject yourself to have the man and you bear kids? Okay, you bought a house or whatever. That doesn't say, but he was still married. To me, I think that's like a disrespect to
30
me. You understand? Because I
years.
don't understand. Like, why would you don't want to marry me? Why are you still holding on to your first wife? And I mean, you had ample time to divorce, so I didn't understand. And
More
she
than
didn't think of that and think about her kids. And I went working in the hospital. I even see, just to show you how girlfriends don't mean anything, or if you're a common law. I've seen several times. With black, he's with the black. The girlfriend, he's still married to the wife. When he got sick, the wife said, the girlfriend can't come in.
right.
And he's living with the girlfriend.
That's scary.
And a lot of women do that because they feel like, you know what? Oh, I guess some of the men just get to their head and they feel like they don't need to, to question anything. Do you
You know
understand?
that Omar Johnson sound?
Mm-hmm.
Why? do you need the white man's paperwork? And it's this
Mhm.
very gaslighting thing that a lot of men will do to Black women. And it's just like, oh, what do you mean marriage license? That's just white supremacy. Let's just jump the broom and, lay in bed and exchange rings. And then, we're married. And, it's this hoteptual agreement, this hotepery marriage. And it's like, and we just put up with it in droves. So when people are like, oh, this percentage of Black women are not married,
Mhm.
there's a lot of those women who are living with men for 13, 14, 15, 20 something years, and they live like married people, but they're in a hoteptual agreement.
Let me tell you something, okay? I don't care what anybody say. You don't ever be with no one who is still married. You understand me? Because let me tell you this. I've seen it, especially in the hospitals. Like I even had a coworker. He ended up dying, and him and his wife was like, ugh, she was like toxic. She barred us from not going to the hospital to see him because
Wow.
technically they were separated, but she didn't want his coworkers to see him. So when you're a wife, when you're someone's spouse, you do have all the rights. Don't be
Oh,
with no man. Don't be with no man, and he's okay. He's still married, and you're going along with him. He doesn't want to marry. No, because everything happens money wise, and they want to make it like, oh, it's about money. You just want no. It's not about that. It's about the security because sometimes the wives, they may have animosity and they're like, oh, that's the girl that she cheated on, and then she has all control. Just like the lady, I told you she lived with the man, but the wife came and he was still married to the wife, and the wife so like, no, you can't see him.
I don't want another woman to be able to pull the plug on my partner when I'm fighting for him to stay alive, and I
And
have
that
no choice
and
because she.
that's and that's exactly what happened to my coworker. His wife let him go because he had sepsis and he got really extremely sick. We loved him and we all went to try to see him, and the wife was just like, and anybody had looked good, the coworker, she was looking at you up and down, like I guess she felt like, oh, he must have been messing with her or something. It wasn't even like that. Mike was such a cool dude, like, yes, but she was just such a nasty person. I see why he separated from her, but unfortunately, she pulled the plug when he could have. I think he could have lived, but she was
Wow.
wife, so
Wow.
yeah. Well, she said you cannot judge without being judgmental. Yeah, looking at the data on the anecdotes, how can I judge without being judgmental? I I don't know how to answer that question. How you looking at the data? How can I judge without being judgmental or generalizing?
Like she doesn't want to be racist. Like Summer Bliss is a divested woman who was with a non-black man, but I
Mm-hmm.
always tell people over here, you don't it's not necessary to hate black men to be divested, right? It's not like I'm with a black man, I'm not divested, but I'm just
Right.
like you can move on without being hateful, without being bitter, without like having all that nasty stuff in your heart that ends up blocking you and your health, right? You don't need that
Exactly.
stoppage. You can just be mature enough and love yourself enough to move on. But some of these, some of this evidence, it's kind of like like it makes you feel a certain way about the population when you're looking at, like, for example, you have 15, 20 years of experience of black men who are proud to be single, who
Mm-hmm.
will sit there with salt and pepper hair, with gray hair in their heads, like nanny, nanny, boo, boo, I'm not married. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
what alfalfa, He-Man, Woman Haters Club, Little Rascals is going on with your mentality? And it's hard not to begin to generalize. And I guess, maybe
Mm-hmm.
Summary's such a good girl. I don't know if you've ever been on her channel, but she minds her business and decoding, super pretty, cams up, no makeup, great skin,
Mm-hmm.
and just wants to be a good person. It's like, I'm not with a black man, but I don't want to hate them either. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how?
You know what it is? We're not hating black men because I still love my black. I just cannot stand like us with the Dusties. And what I don't like when I like Kevin Samuels, this minister Jab. Oh my God, he's so disgusting. His energy is just so, I don't know which woman must have heard in him, but
You said
and
Jab, like Jab or JAP as in peanut butter?
I think Jap, yeah,
Oh,
Minister Jap, Jap.
I have these two trolls who come here. They're one of them is because Minister Jap is always wearing a wife beater. So one of them is Minister Jap's dirty wife beater and Minister Jap's clean wife beater, and they just troll the hell out of me. But obviously,
Yeah, it's
Counting him.
they and what was that Tony Sotomayor and you know what I noticed with them? I don't know which state you're from, but
I'm from
every state.
Washington. I'm from Seattle.
Oh, you're from Seattle. Okay, okay. So you're from the West Coast.
Yeah,
Okay, because like I said, I'm from the East Coast. I'm from New York. So a lot of the things that they talk about, like with the men about black women, I'm like, where are you getting these thoughts from? Like, because New York is like kind of different than I know somewhere in rural Mississippi or Atlanta.
yeah.
Yes, there are some people who are more probably more ratchet more, but I know New York City, like we don't have a lot of those women that really act like that. You have them in certain parts, yes, but they tend to like generalize every black woman, hell, she just went to baby mom. And I'm like saying to myself, okay, but why you're not going for the educated ones? You know, it just seemed like I hear men talk about, oh, they don't want blue collar men. I'm like, where
That's not
are
true.
you getting that from?
Blue
Yeah,
collar
they
men
were all.
make money, money, money. Electricians
I
out
mean,
here.
that's what I'm. But exactly. But I hear the men talking about the woman, and I'm like, which woman are you with? Because in New York City, we all know that blue collar dudes make money. You know, you got the guy from the MTA working for the transit. You know who's doing all locksmith. We know that, but then I hear the men. Oh, they don't want this. They want. I'm like, which woman are y'all dealing with? Like, it doesn't make any
I
sense.
feel
Oh,
like
I'm
they're
in trouble.
confusing working at McDonald's with being blue collar. They're trying to call anything that isn't white collar blue collar, and it's just not the case. It's just not the case.
Well, I don't know because what I've noticed with the manosphere, right, and it's true. Like these guys, like first of all, I always say you got to know your levels. It's just like I'm a 40-something-year-old woman and me to take up a little 20-year-old. Okay, it's not going to work. I don't
Right.
care. Uh, yes, probably there's one or two cases, but on the whole, all the time, no, it doesn't work
Right.
because we're on a different level. Like I'm a Generation Xer, you're a millennials, and you know you're gonna think differently. I mean, I listen to my '90s R&B still. You're listening to some other, you know, rap. There's gonna be no connection. Do you understand me?
Hmm.
Then you have some guys that they sit here. Okay, you know you know every job. I don't try to diss every job. I just feel like it's a job and a career is two different things. Okay, you can't be at Walmart pushing stocking aisles and everything. Not trying to diss because everything start, but then you want the girl that look like an IG model.
Right.
Then they want to talk to those type of girls, but then your money doesn't go far. And then they complain. They go on Kevin Samuels complain. Oh, they care about weaves and then. But you ignore the simple girl who doesn't wear makeup. Maybe she has her hair natural. You don't. They don't want those girls. They want these hot girls, which you know, hot girls cost money.
That's a fact. You know, it's so
It's
funny. We were talking about Summery Bliss, and if you go to her channel and look at her, very pretty, clear skin,
mm-hmm,
symmetry, golden ratio in terms of like if you put a ruler on her face and a compass on her face, like just, you know, lots of hair, big, beautiful eyes, super duper smart. She does a lot of
mm-hmm,
coding. But when I saw her, I was like, this is the woman Black men are passing up. Her partner's Asian. So she's a Black woman with an
mm-hmm.
Asian male.
Right.
That guy, first of all, he's handsome, he's smart, he's whatever, he's her co-equal. But he saw a beautiful woman, whereas I'm sure Black men looked at her and just thought they saw wallpaper. Like
Exactly.
perfect example of a woman who, like, when you can cam up without any makeup, oh, you're something special. You're
Mm-hmm,
something special, and
mm-hmm,
you're still beautiful, you know. But I'm
mm-hmm.
just like, I could look at her and see her Black experience. And they get passed up all the time. And it's like, oh, you guys care about weave. No, fool, you care about weave. You care about them lashes. You care about them acrylics. You care
Right.
about the IG model waddle to waddle.
You know exactly, and it's like you have to know your levels. Like, I mean, and what's wrong with the woman looking good? And then they try to compare you with other with the other race of women, which they do wear weaves. And a lot of them do get cosmetic surgery as well, and a lot of them wear weaves. They wear extensions. They call it extensions.
I mean, but they're
And
out here doing bald cap methods. Like my TikTok feed is full of
yeah,
all kind of white girls with pulling nylon wig caps over their head. They got their got to be glued and their gorilla glue snot and cutting up the nylon. Hun, girl. I had a video on my channel and I'll share it with you over email.
hmm
Somebody commented, "LOL, I got an ad during my video that came up for white women's weave." And I'm
yeah,
like, it's serious. They,
yeah.
they, I was telling somebody the other day, white women put black women onto those ponytails because in the early 90s, when a black woman wanted to do her hair in a ponytail, like we had the freezes, and the finger waves for a while. And when we got into ponytails, we would get a big old track, a long track, and keep wrapping that mug around our ponytail and sticking in bobby pins.
Yes, yeah. And the bobby pin sticking in
Look,
your head and stiff stuff.
we had them irritated scalps. We had scabs in our scalps from bobby pins and perms. And then white girls was like, nah, Shaquita, you need this drawstring right here, sis.
hmm
Get this drawstring with this pick, this little comb inside of it. Bada bing, bada boom. This is a 5-minute hairstyle. We were tying our hair up for 2 weeks. We're like, pain is beauty. All these 50 bobby pins in your head.
Yes, I
Scalp
remember.
on flyer.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's the white girls who put us onto the proper ponytail. Thank you,
Oh
Samantha.
my god. I remember I used to have to take the pins and stick it out, and then you'd be like, which one is?
It hurt so bad. Taking the mugs down was like, oh my God, like tingly, like
Oh my
it's
god, I
out of
remember
my head,
those days, man. I am tell you those days, the 90s. And let me tell you something, I still do it, but in the 90s, I was like a hair freak. Like every week I had a new hairstyle. The girls at my school couldn't stand me because, every week I came with something new. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, you got the new hairstyle again. Ah.
I know what you mean. I grew up in a hair salon. My mom is a cosmetologist, so I know what you mean. I'm right there with you.
That's
I
why you
want
look like a model. So
oh,
beautiful, man. I was like, oh my god, she's gorgeous. Yes, and I love hair. I love big hair, man. And men love big hair too. I don't know. They just like that. You know how men go. Yep. I used to wear the big hair, the half wigs. Yeah, I'm a glamour girl too. So,
So
just
certain
like this one.
exposures is here on the screen, and he asks you, Foxy, does
Yeah.
any data you've reviewed reveal major differences in health outcomes between Black men versus women with and without marital partners, adjusted for socioeconomic status? So that's actually a long question. If you want to break that into pieces, feel free.
Yeah, but actually, you know what? The data is there on a whole with all races. They always said that the men who aren't married die alone, or they die earlier because and that's with all races. They compare that to like black men and white men as well. But when is a single man on the whole, remember they don't have a wife, so the wife is not usually the wife is telling them, you gotta go to the doctor, you gotta do this. They on them, they make sure that they eat.
That's
When
right.
you're alone, they don't eat well. They don't go to the doctor. They don't have anyone to basically live for.
And
They
you know
don't
how
care
men
about
are
their
always
health.
saying, I'm fine. Like whenever you tell a man, you need to go check on this. Nah, I don't want to go to the hospital. I'm fine.
Mhm.
But that nagging,
Mhm.
okay, fine. And then they discover he's a diabetic. And then they discover he's got gout. And then they discover he's got GERD or something. But it's that nagging, that woman that pushes
Mhm.
man into taking care of his health. I have found to comment on that question. I know it was directed at Miss Foxy, but I
Mhm.
have found in my own research that when
Mhm.
men get married, they basically usurp the life force of women, and it's actually married women who end up not living as long as single women.
Mhm.
Um, Married men make like 30 something percent more money than single men. They just all around have a better quality of life. So let's say his partner is working, his wife is working. When he
Mhm.
comes home, she's still doing the domestic work. So she has a job, but she's also cooking, cleaning, whatever
Cleaning.
it is that makes him basically making that home a home. Like if you've ever I have an Islamic background.
Mhm.
and some of the mosques are not woman friendly. So when you go to the mosque that isn't woman friendly, it smells bad, it's dank, people come in there, they pray, they get out. But when the women are there, there's flowers in the front yard, there's incense burning, you
Yeah,
can
like
smell the
me.
floor. Yeah, you can smell the floor. It's just been vacuumed. It's like it gave to life what, like, its beauty. It gave to the area its beauty and its warmth and its comeliness. So they go from living these Spartan lifestyles as bachelors to living a lifestyle where, this carpet and this couch and these curtains and all of this makes sense. Whereas, that one plate, one fork, one cup life, that's rough. That's Spartan.
That's rough. Right. Well, it's right. And then they live in, they'll have a room, living in the room, and living in the room is just there. You're sharing, you're sharing a bathroom, kitchen with other people. The other your roommates. You're not really happy. So it's like when you get with someone, it's like, okay, she makes it lively, and you come in the house, it smells like potpourri. You're getting a good meal, So that's just basically it. But his question, yeah, there is data about that on the whole. But like I said, the point of doing this show is that, you discovered me telling you what I see and what's out there. And when you have Kevin Samuels and all of them just manipulating the black men, is like, really, dude? Why are you lying to them? Right now, like I told you, I'm from New York, and I've I have like this plaza. It's like this
Mhm.
mini plaza that's down the block. So, sometimes they have like a 24-hour little restaurant. You can go get something to eat, or they have the Rite Aid, CVS there. And I've noticed that in the parking lot there, I used to see the men in their cars. And I'm like, so, I always carry a knife. Sorry, guys. I always carry a knife on me no matter what. Because I'm in
I got
city,
my
these
knife in
people are
front of me.
crazy.
I'm with you. I am with you. I got my knife in front of me right now. It's pink,
Yes.
hearts on it. Babe grabbed it from the gas station. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you got to.
Yeah. I even walk I have a little mini hammer in my MCM bag,
Come on.
especially like when they, yes, I do. I am not ashamed of it because I told you I'm from New York City. So when you're on that train, there's a lot of nuts.
Absolutely.
So, so do I've noticed that, the guys were in there, and then one of the guys that owned the laundromat, we always talk. And I was talking to him, and then he was telling me, man, he always give me the scoop. He just come like we having a conversation, we talk, and he said, a lot of the guys, they right here, they homeless and they sleeping in their cars. And I'm like, you know what? So I told him, I said, that's, what, I've noticed that when I went to the Rite Aid the other day, I saw all these guys, they were in the car. So, I'm like, when I see that, I'm scared because you don't know these like sex traffickers and then they're looking in the car leaning back. So I thought they were maybe Uber drivers just resting until they get a call. No, he told me no. He said most of them are homeless. They're sleeping in their cars, and they were black men.
Wow.
Okay.
Um,
Also, I'm sorry. Sometimes I feel bad with my sweet black men who are there, but we were talking about the ones we out there. But
right.
another thing what they're doing too, especially in New York. That's why I said ladies have to be very careful. Guys are looking after women, like career women, like whoever work at the hospital. I'm just talking about how New York is because I don't know how out of state is run. I know out of state is kind of different from New York life, but
Mhm.
the black men around here now are trying to go with girls who are working at hospitals and things, and now they're trying to move in because rent is really ridiculous here, in New York City. Um, One bedroom in the hood is like $1,200,
It's crazy.
1,400 in the hood. Okay. If you live in Manhattan, yes, the rent one bedroom is like $2,400, $3,000.
Mhm.
If you live in Brooklyn, now Brooklyn has gotten expensive because a lot of the people from Manhattan moved to Brooklyn. So now the rent raised up over there, but they still have like low income in the areas, but it's still high. So all around the five boroughs, one bedroom is like 1,400, two bedroom is like about 16, 1800 now, and
Wow.
3 bedrooms are like, yeah, 20, 2300 right now, and this is in the hood,
What you're
considered.
saying about this, the hoods, these boroughs, that's a luxury apartment. I've literally like, because I'm moving, that's a
Oh,
luxury apartment with all kind of like fixtures and granite countertops where I'm at. That's crazy.
yes, and then also too, you don't have a dishwasher, or you have a washer and dryer in your unit. So I'm
Mm-mm.
just letting you know. So you still have to go to the laundromat.
I cannot.
Anything here, that, trust me, New York City just it's ridiculous. If you go like further upstate, because upstate New York is like Rochester, Buffalo, the rent is up there is much cheaper, but people don't live up there. It's more rural, quieter. Jobs are there, but not like plentiful like in the city, because well, Manhattan has Wall Street. They have all the hospitals, they have the law offices, they got all the company media, all of that stuff here. So that's why when I hear people in New York City talk about, oh, it's hard and all that, there's no, just bullshit. Okay, because in New York City you don't need a car. If you live within the five boroughs, you can take the bus and 24/7 train to get to work. Everyone who lives in Queens or Brooklyn, Bronx, they work in Manhattan, so they just take the train. It takes like 40 minutes.
Mhm.
So when you hear people, oh, when I hear, I just look at them like, y'all just lazy, because in New York City, there's no reason. Like you don't need a car. Like I know out of state, you need a car to go everywhere. So if you don't have a job, you don't have a car. There's a problem. Your job might be an hour away. You don't have a car. How are you going to get to your job? But New York City is like totally different. It's very accessible. You understand? So when I hear people talk about, oh, this and that, they're lying. They just don't want to work, because there's a lot of jobs in the city. But what these guys are doing now, they're scoping out ladies like me, or, oh, you have your job. They want to come in. They want to move in because they have no place to go.
Foxy, do you watch Mocha Mommy at all?
Mocha mommy. That name
Yes.
sounds familiar.
N- Uh, the Honest Truth advertises her channel quite a bit. Just a next level
Yeah.
kind of woman, very classy, very
Hmm.
a woman who belongs to a very rich Black African American legacy, and she's a
Hmm.
nurse. So she was
Hmm.
talking about how what happens with, because the security guards in the hospital she works at are Black,
Hmm.
and the nurses are Black, right?
Right.
So the security guards will come and try to bait the women into, arguments, kind of like the manosphere, like
Hmm.
try to bait them into arguments about, Kamala Harris, or, the Scandal, the show with Kerry Washington, name that thing that you think African American women are going to go hard on, and they try to bait them with it. And it's to distract them from their co-equals, because it's not a co-equal for a nurse to marry a security guard, or to be
Right.
with, or to even
Hmm.
hook up with him. It's
Hmm.
normal for them to hook up, with the doctor, with the other nurse, with the person who is, medical administration, right? Um, and it's the homosexual thing as well, right? This
Hmm.
woman is $55 an hour, she only has to work 3 days a week, trying to be with her, trying to move in with her, trying to benefit from her resources without ever really intending anything
Yes.
except self-preservation.
Yes. Yes, and that's what they're doing. They're scoping. They're looking at the kind of car that you driving now. So they mapping you out. They
That's
mapping.
incredibly effeminate. I'm very sorry to say.
Yes, they're
That's
they're
incredibly feminine.
they're doing that now, because what it is like they when they see the kind of car you drive, they're like, okay, she's driving that car. They're like, yes, so if I get with her, I could be driving around that car. And
Yikes.
it's like, this is what they're doing. Also, too, I want to bring up something. From New York City, so we have a mixture of people. So, my background, yes, I'm from Jamaica. So, I there's a lot of Jamaican men who are here without papers. We
Mm.
could do another show with that. Without papers, they don't have their green card. So a lot of them would try to, sweet talk you and whatever, because
Lord
now they
have
don't have, right, they don't have the green card, they don't have the papers. So it's harder for them to, probably get a job or something on the job that doesn't pay. So what they're doing, they're going after the well, my girlfriend and I was talking about that. They go after the nurse girls. They love nurse girls, and especially the ones that work at night. So I know a couple of them that got swindled over that. Um, okay, they get with them, move them in because you're giving them a chance. Then they go to work at night, and then they drive in the car, and then they have a nerve to tell the girl what kind of car to get. So they run to go get the car because of his liking, so he could take the car to drive. And
Mm-hmm.
then while he drops her to work at night, he takes the car. Maybe it could be like a BMW X6, X5, and then he goes to the party at nights because the Jamaican culture, there's like a dance hall. If everybody's familiar with a dance hall,
Yeah.
so it's like a group, it's like a party. Caribbean people like to party. Period. So everybody, what they say, they like to party like that, and they have events. So they'll go in the night, the dance hall, mess around with some girl there, probably have sex with her, and then they go pick up the girl in her car from
Right.
work.
And probably has sex in her car. I'm glad that you're saying this as a Jamaican because it really reminds me of how Summery Bliss was like, how do I do this without being prejudiced? How do I accept this data and this information without becoming prejudiced, without, giving, credence to stereotypes? I'm just like, as soon as you started talking about Jamaican men, that is what came to my mind. I'm like, they
Mm-hmm.
were playing that thing for,
Mm-hmm.
shelter, for papers, all kind of stuff,
Yep.
Marry you for 9 years. If it takes 9 years for him to get his citizenship, he will be married to you for 9 years. You will have 9 kids. You will have a kid a year. And then
Mm-hmm.
he's like, all right, I got it, I'm out. Huh?
Yeah. Because actually, I'm going to do a separate show for that because I told Stephanie that we're going to have to talk about that because I said it's a big thing, and a lot of people were like, they don't know. And it's not only with Jamaican men. There's like African men. There's other men um, that come and sweet you up to get what they want. You just have to just be careful because there's some of them are very disrespectful. They come in your life and then you lose everything. So you just got to be careful.
So I have another
Um,
question based on
mhm,
what you have been saying.
mhm,
There is this narrative, right?
mhm.
Black women dying alone. Would you surmise that Kevin Samuels is trying to propagate this as a narrative to basically make us sitting ducks for the men who really are dying alone in order to basically be their slaves,
Of course,
nurses,
of
wait on them?
course, of course, of course, of course. If anybody can see that, because he's basically, if you hear the narrative, it's like, oh, you gotta, you know that's why I know, because you guys don't listen. He did something with the hand, like the slapping of the hand, and like you supposed to listen to what they tell you. You're supposed to take them up. You're supposed to go back to your ex-husband and your baby father. Like, really, this is the man that probably slapped you up, beat you,
I
got you
listened to him
poor.
I listened to him tell a woman to go back to a husband who abused her, and then he was like, "Yeah, well, you wasn't abused when blah 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 when life was all good." And I'm like, I can't believe what I'm hearing.
I
Telling
don't.
her,
I don't even know why ladies even listening to him. Sometimes I think those ladies that go on his show, they want attention, because he came up on my feed and I listened to him like twice this day, and I'm like, listen, I said no. I said this guy's been touched. Okay, no disrespect to the gay community, whatever, but I'm
mhm,
just saying, like, his demeanor. I say he's been touched. If he's
right.
not fully, he either dabbled in it or whatever. And I peeped him. I said no, and not hearing how he was telling women, especially that nice girl that had her own business.
Jessica,
It's like I looked at, like, really? Oh, no, no, you fat. No, 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 no. Nobody wants you. And it's like, really?
my
And
thing was nobody said he was calling her average at best, and I was just like, she's a six-figure woman in a place where nobody is a six-figure earner. She's literally a big fish in a small pond. That's literally not being average. She's actually a unicorn. What is going on here? And she was as sweet as could be. She was taking that humiliation on the chin and just looking down at her phone like I had, secondhand contact embarrassment, like dang near like fighting back tears because I'm looking at her and I'm just like, she believes so much in him. She wanted
Yeah,
help.
and it's right. And I mean, I was so pissed, and I wrote on his page a few times. If you go back, you probably see I cursed him out. I cursed him out. I said, yeah. I said, for him to talk about, oh, you're woman, yeah, you're a single mother, nobody wants you with the kids. He's just so nasty. Like, so we're supposed to take up the men with their four kids, right? He's married twice and got how many kids, but we supposed to still take you up, right? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And he'll
Like
say, well, it's
everything he
different.
right. We're supposed to take you up. You have child support, but we supposed to stuff front and take you up, right? And help you pay child support. It's like you talk about, oh, woman fat, but you're diabetic and you into prostate, and we supposed to take up that with your dead rod. I don't want to say it on your show.
Right, absolutely. I mean,
Like,
ED, erectile dysfunction disorder,
mm-hmm,
and it's so funny when they talk about, oh, you guys are the fattest women in America. I'm like, dude, you're the fattest men in America. Like we have a problem. There's a poverty problem. There's a food island problem. I'm with you hand in hand, but I mean, let's do what this really is. Let's shine the mirror here. You want to talk
mm-hmm,
about me without talking about you. And I notice when they make it okay for a man to have kids, but not for a woman to have kids, I almost feel like they're trying to seal. It's a subconscious way to seal your fate, because if you end up aging as, because women are dying with their kids. So it's like
mm-hmm,
everybody's at the house eating. It's six different people in the house because she got her kids, nieces, nephews, and the
mm-hmm,
kids' friends who she had a hand in raising, who may not be her mom, but they call her mom because she's awesome. And I'm like, she
mm-hmm,
doesn't die alone. But if she ends up not having kids, or quote unquote being divorced, single mother, baby mama, then she's going to die alone, like how you die alone. And I'm like, and it sucks for you because you're actually a dad. You're just estranged from your kids because you're not married. Men have a hard time maintaining relationships with their kids when they're not with the mother of the kid. So it's like you got 11 kids,
mm-hmm.
6 baby mamas, 11 kids, and you don't have one to look out for you.
Okay, that thank you for bringing that up. That's a number one scenario I see all the time. These men have a whole bunch of kids and not one of them is around because they did not develop that relationship with their children. So all their children resent them. And they don't talk about it. Look at Kevin Samuels. Like, he's there. How many times he been married and how many kids he has? And when his daughter, he owns child support too. So if something happens to him, who's gonna come check him? Maybe his glitch.
Hey, I mean, that glitch had like a Yogi Bear back. That guy was thick. That guy was tall. I mean, we
Listen,
never know.
and his reaction, I always go by people's body language, says a lot. Because he has to zoom, and then when the glitch happened, oh, I don't know what happened.
I caught that because if it would have been anybody else, who is this mother effer? You
Yeah.
calling on my line, playing on my, get off my, but
Mm-hmm.
somebody is laying in bed. Okay.
Yeah. I said, Leah, he got caught. There's no way. There's no damn glitch. There's no damn glitch. The camera focused on him. He was laid out with probably drooling.
I mean, go back and look at his hands, like in the way that he's talking to the girl, like he's it was almost as if he was already watching the glitch, and he was like, yeah,
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tear that
mm-hmm.
up after this show. I mean,
Like
that's what
sucking back
I'm
spit, salivating, like really go look at it. Like, I'm with you when it comes to body language. I mean, verbal English is we're all ESL. It's all of our second language. Our first
mm-hmm.
language is it's body language. It's telekinetic, or 98% of our communication is body language.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can say
And
one word and mean it 5 different ways. Tone,
and then
body.
I noticed when he's around men, because there was an interview with what's that rapper name that he had an interview with
Oh, I don't
what's his name? what's that rapper guy name? Somebody in the chat can remind me that interview he had with that rapper. He was on Love and Hip Hop. Oh God, I don't
I
remember his name.
remember he had a girl
He's
on
like
there.
he's like a light. He had a light skin.
Joe Budden.
He
Thank you.
light skin. Yeah, Joe Budden. Yeah,
I
Joe
literally
Budden.
don't watch Kevin. I've seen him twice, and only thing I see after that is clips.
It's good. he he had an interview with him, and he Kevin Samuels looked so like intimidating. And like I told you, I'm very observant. That's why I told you I should have been a detective. I think I'm in the wrong field because I can tell by your body language and your demeanor. And he was kind of like timid, like he felt like he was so uncomfortable, like being around him. And I was like, yeah, because you probably felt and feeling that masculine energy. Now you're around men, you're like putty. But when you behind the scene, you're acting, chest up high and dissing woman. He feels empowered when he diss woman. When he was around men, it's kind of like, like,
Kevin blew up maybe like a year ago or something like that.
mm-hmm,
Forgive me. I'm God. Every time I speak to somebody, I pick up their accent, and I'm so embarrassed when the people are Indian because then I go Indian too. But
uh-huh.
like when you hear these boroughs come out of my voice, and I'm from Seattle, Washington, don't be offended. It happens. I can't help it. I
Yeah,
can't
it's
help
okay.
it.
It's okay.
I
Listen.
forgot my train of thought because I was listening to my R's. I'm like, really, chocolate? Where were we? Oh, I remember Kevin Samuels blew up like a year ago, and I started laughing at myself because instead of saying year, I said a year ago, right? Anyhow, so he blew up like a year ago, and if you go back and look at some of the Manosphere content he was doing, because now he's the king of the Manosphere. Before he was the pauper of the Manosphere.
Mm-hmm.
People were calling him the F word that rhymes with maggot. I mean, he would be on Obsidian News Talk Media and be getting railroaded on panels, not just by men, but by women too. There's a sweet little lady, beautiful Creole woman named Bomb Cherry, who like, even she intimidated him. Oh, somebody tell Bomb to stop talking about me, whatever else. And I'm just like, Bomb is probably the easiest person to talk to, but, it's just crazy. Or like there was a woman, JV Dessalines, who could talk circles around him. There were people in the Manosphere who other people in the Manosphere regard as dust. But when Obsidian was when Kevin Samuels was on a panel with them, he used to get railroaded. And that's why he's always like, you're not going to talk over me. This is my show. And he can't tolerate an actual, like when people are saying he's going to go to Hollywood and he's going to blow up and be mainstream, I was just like, that would be the end of him, because he can't tolerate a true exchange where he's not, he can't Dr. Phil. You can talk smack to Dr. Phil, and Dr. Phil will, with his wit on the fly, let you have. Kevin will clam up. He has to be able to be, he's the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, he's really he's really something else, and I don't know. I it's sad because he has this he's influencing, and it's like when you have the kind Kevin Samuels said, okay, let me go back. I'm sorry to we jumble because things just come to my head and I have to like remember it quick. I
Yeah.
was on I followed this girl named Erica Williams.
Mm-hmm.
She's really good. She teaches about finance, house buying, and everything. I'm not going to call no names, but there's a particular guest that that comes on her show, and I was like, oh, he's good looking. He's nice, my type. Glasses, look good. He's well educated. He has his PhD. And then they went, they commentating, back and forth talking. And then he kept on saying, and Kevin Samuels said, and I was like, why are you listening to him? Like, dude, you got your PhD. Like, you're, like, the way he was just like, well, Kevin Samuels says, did you know you did? And I'm like, dude, really? Turn
Red
me
flag.
off. I was like, I got so turned off when he was, because I'm looking at him like, it was like, well, Kevin Samuels said, like, he's God. Like, really? Dude, you got more educated, you high value, and you're listening to what Kevin Samuels is saying? Like, what? it just like turned me off. Like I was like, no. I just looked at him differently. I said, oh no. Mm-mm.
It's truly a cult following, part of a cult following. And people are like, oh, you guys sound weird. And I'm like, we're not saying that Kevin intended to build a cult, and we're not saying you intended to join a cult. But one of the characteristics of, cults and cult followings is that my teacher cannot be wrong. My teacher is infallible. And I'm like, you see, this guy was just living a dusty life. You see, this guy was talking about high value men and wasn't one. You see, this guy, the court documents, the deposition, his wife was making $2,800 a month and he was making $900 a month, and it was a black woman, and he was like, come on. Like, you see all these things happening. You see this estranged child. You see this 50-some-year-old guy who is on, no one on YouTube, no one, and I do mean no one on YouTube, is closer to the trajectory of living a life where it ends in dying alone than is Kevin Samuels, who is 50-something years old and single. Mortality is upon the black man at age 60.
And that's my whole point. I'm sitting here that he's 50, he's a 50-year-old man. He's alone, and he's out here like you're supposed to be out here trying to get yourself settled. And another thing too, men health goes down. Their penises go down if they don't take care of it. Do you understand? They have blockage, so they end up having limp penises. And then now he's out here wanting to chase these little 20-year-old girls. Like, and I'm like laughing at myself, like,
you're gonna force her into another man's bed. I'm telling you, you're not gonna be able to satisfy her.
That's exactly my point. These men be like a certain age, and then they want chasing these young. Well, I don't want no single. I don't want no. It's like the attitude, and I'm like the way they talk. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, really? Why you gonna be in your 50s and she gonna be in your 20s, and you really think she gonna say young girls want money?
Why do you want to be your grandchild's peer is what I want to know. I can't find it in me. I can't find it in me to see a boy in my 30s who was 18 years old and be like, I like that. I can't find it in me. I naturally call them all nephew.
And you see, and that's my point. What I was trying to get to, when I said earlier, like, you as a person have to know your levels. Like, for instance, I'm 40 in my 40s, and I'm going to deal with somebody who's 20, 18 years old. As a woman, I'm not going to look at him as, a partner. I'm going to look at him as a child, and then he's going to act like a child. So how can you even have a relation? You don't feel good as a woman to be with someone that young. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that I guess because men are different, because men are known to be protectors or so, but at a certain age, you want someone to be like, if you're 50, you should be with somebody who's 40. You know what I'm saying? Because
I mean, 50 and 40 is great. Like, me and my partner, we're 10 years apart, it works. But when Kevin starts bragging about 18-year-olds hitting on him, and I'm just like, are you going to marry that 18-year-old? I mean, go ahead, I dare you. What are you guys going to talk about? Yu-Gi-Oh? Anime? Inuyasha? What is going to happen? Pokemon? Did you guys catch them all?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, what kind of... She's listening to a certain music. I just don't get it. He's like, oh, I got all these girls flying. I can't keep them off of me. I'm like, really? I'm like, I don't know what kind of woman, because I feel feminine energy with you. He just showboats. He just dress up and he just walks around and wants to feel important. And he probably don't want to spend money. He's so irritable. I don't know. I just feel like
he calls women linebackers and says you weigh as much as Emmitt Smith, and I'm 180 pounds. Like, I'm looking at him because I weigh more than Kevin Samuels, and you guys are like, I'm all over Instagram with my stomach out and leggings and tight clothes, and I'm 200 and something pounds, but I'm just like, my partner is 300 and something pounds. Like, a former football player, whatever it is. And I'm just like, we good over here with our weight, though. I wouldn't be like, you're a small dude. I'm with a man who can carry me over a puddle. We're good.
Exactly.
Why do I have to be 180? Especially if I'm a giant African-American woman. If I'm dang near 6 feet, like, it doesn't make any sense. I won't have any ass at 180 pounds. I tried it in undergrad. I used to model.
Mm-hmm.
I got down to 168 and my face sunk in and I had no behind.
Yeah, because everyone is shaped differently. But I don't know. He just, oh my god, he's just poisoning these young. I feel so sorry for these young. He just poisoning these men. And then he like, yeah, yeah. And they co-signing, and I don't want no baby. She wants you to take care of her kids. But then we're supposed to take care of your kids. Yeah, she overweight, but then you have problems. You have health issue. They got diabetes, and when they piss stink. Like all kinds of this stuff. But we're supposed to deal with it.
So you don't
You
want to have
understand?
mercy on her kids. And then, you know, Shaq made that rap song and you know, poor guy, he can't rap. He just begged.
Yes, about his stepfather.
Yeah, and he's like, you know, my biological didn't bother. And I'm just like, so when he grew up to love and care for and take care of and be this wealthy man who looks after his, you know, the one that raised him,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna miss out on that by saying, "Oh, that kid ain't mine anyway." Okay, well, then miss out on that because you never know who's in your house. You never know who you're raising.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know their potential, their future, their destiny. None of that. You might be raising the next so and so, but because it's not your kid, you're just gonna, you know, neglect, whatever, avoid. Okay,
And sometimes that stepchild come out and take care of you.
exactly.
Sometimes they just come out and take care of you. Also, have you seen this what is called Saint and the Sinner?
I have.
Uh,
I saw a video of his where he was quote unquote exposing Kevin Samuels
okay.
and O.J. Jackson. I
Yeah.
don't know anything else about his channel. I try to stay away from people who talk like pimps. Honestly, the moment I hear somebody say "figure deal me" or you know just pimp talk gives me the heebie-jeebies. It just I know that it's cool to black men, but I would argue that black women and black men have two divergent cultures that are emerging
Mm-hmm.
where they think that pimp stuff is real cute and real slick and real attractive, whereas we abhor it and still seek marriage and tradition.
Mm-hmm.
And they
But
say
that's the
that,
thing is,
but they want, you know, they say they seek tradition, but they want the nurses, you know, they want the women to provide for them, but they say they seek tradition because in reality they just want slavery, like submission. But that's another conversation.
they're too conflicted, man. It's like one minute you this, done that. Like, what do you want? Because even like I said, I stopped going to them, but this is what's from the beginning. I went I went on all of those Manosphere and was cursing them out. I said, yeah, y'all, the same thing I was trying to tell you. Oh, y'all don't want single mothers, but then you want us to take you up with your child support and your kids. And most of the time, y'all have multiple baby mothers. Like, what do y'all guys want? I said, what y'all want to do? I said, it sounds like y'all want a child because I don't see all the qualifications that they say that they want from a woman. I said, it's not a woman, it's a child.
Do you see when those men say at the same time that they don't want no damn baby mama, single mama, they all say to themselves out loud, if she is over 30, never been married, and got no kids, something's wrong with her. And it's just like,
Yeah,
what the hell? Maybe she kept her legs closed. Maybe she took care of her reproductive system. Maybe she took your advice and decided she wasn't going to have any kids at a wedlock and nobody was proposing. Everybody wanted to live with her and knock her. I've had men beg me to have their, literally beg me in the position of like begging, men on their knees. No, I'm not going to, and I'm obviously like, it's just for me personally. I was like, I told the guy, I don't want to purposefully create a kid who can look in the mirror and say, I'm a bastard, and it's true. Like, it's one thing if something happens and it just, you know, okay, I'm not getting an abortion, but I'm like, I don't want to purposely do that to a person. So give me the ring first. And it was like, no, I want the kid. I'm like, which is the greater commitment?
like
That kid is not God. Which is the greater commitment? And that's scary that you don't think creating a life is the greater commitment.
and that's the thing. It's like and that's what's wrong with the community now because there's no foundation. There's no foundation around. And I mean, if you look at every other race, like I told you, I'm gonna tell you, I was married before, right? And and it's so funny. Like I told you, I work around a lot of professional people, and I remember when I had got pregnant, I didn't know that I was pregnant. and my director, she was Indian, and I ended up getting married, and she told me, she said, "It's good, it's good, got married." She said, and she whispered in my ear, she said, "It looks better." She's
Mm,
Indian and told me that. And
mm.
then when I even go into like the doctor's office before, they automatically assume, "Oh man, how many kids do you have?" And then it's like, "Oh, you have two or three, four?" And I'm looking at them like, "No, like why would you assume?" Like even when you go to the doctor's office, they automatically assume that, okay, oh, she's black, she's a single mother, or she have kids out of wedlock. Like that's what they think out there because it's so much of us out there like that. So they
Mm.
automatically, judge you. And
Right.
even when even when I was married at the time, they were like, "You're married?" And
That's
I'm like,
embarrassing.
"Yes." Well, why you see surprise? Oh, but and I'm like, "Really?"
That's embarrassing.
That's how they act. But if Becky, I'm getting married. Oh, Miss Ling, you get, when you're black, oh, you married? That's the reaction. I'm telling you, that's if that person asks about the stereotype, that's what I'm talking about. Because there's so much out there that people automatically want to stereotype you. You know what I'm saying? More of the culture, more of the people are doing the same. They're going to judge you. Every time I go somewhere, they automatically assume like I have a bag of kids. And they will say, "Oh, you were the baby daddy?" I'm like, "No, my husband." Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Yeah.
That is how they react, and it got so tiring. And I said, I was like, it's to irritate me because you can never get that respect as a black woman because of the stigma that's out there, that's put on you. You understand? You walk in, you assume that I got a bag of kids. Oh, you're not married. You get surprised when I tell you I'm married, and you're married, and it's like everything. When Becky comes in and announces she getting married is one big thing, and and we got to do better. And then the black men are out here blaming us. Oh, you should choose. You chose better, and I'm telling them like this. Um, Black women believe in you. If a black woman got with you and you didn't have much, maybe she believe in you because she knows that the odds are against you out in this world, and she has your back, and then you
See,
still disrespected her.
there's that. There is that right there. And I hate that they are shaming Black women for believing in them because they stay saying, "Oh, why your standards so high? Get our brother a chance. His car start right up. He don't got to lift the hood or nothing. He pays his rent and he works his little Amazon delivery job and he does his DoorDash and you just be grateful it's a good man. You know what I'm saying? Give that brother a chance. You gave him a chance. Things go wrong. Well, you should have chose better. Wait, what?
Okay,
What?
thank you. Okay, or if you get with them, they get complacent. Then like, okay, you have their job that's not paying much. Okay, let's elevate, let's do something more. I got your back. They don't want to do it. They just want to be stuck there and think, I don't want to live in this one bedroom apartment, I want to get a house. But since they don't want to do nothing more, they expect you to sit there. Do you understand? And
Right.
then you're stuck there, and then they blame you that you want too much because they want to be comfortable. Oh, so you're comfortable that we're living in this room. We have four kids and we're in this one bedroom.
Right.
And
Renting
so
the
a lot of
bottom
them,
part of somebody else's house.
you understand. So then then the woman, when the woman leave them, all women are the same. But no, you sat on your ass and not doing anything. The woman want more because she's trying to build a foundation, and you're sitting there because you don't want to go further. You're comfortable doing that, but then you want the IG models. That's the thing. I just don't understand.
You
It's
need
too
a
much.
10 and you work for Uber Eats.
Yeah,
You need a whole
and
10.
women. Let me tell you something. Most women, they're not gonna brag on you, but if you're doing that and you're elevating yourself, there's no problem with that. But a lot of them just get comfortable doing that. Like they just living for themselves. They only always want to live for themselves. They're not living for you and the kids. And that's the problem what I noticed with them.
That's why
And
Black
they,
women have to say no, because you have to give them something to strive for. Because if they already have you, they already have the prize, and they're like, "Oh, I can relax." They're
right.
not. They say that they want a woman who was down for them, like she was there from the beginning. She was with me when I had nothing, but like they will associate you with all of that struggle in the end when they make it to where they're making it.
Mm-hmm.
And once they become that new man, they will decide that you no longer fit their image because they're not the man they were when they first got with you. Tory
Mm-hmm.
Hart, Kevin Hart, Inigo.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Perfect. That's what they do, and then you struggle with them. Okay, you struggle with them. You gave up a lot of yourself to them, and then when they get to a certain point, they leave you to be with someone to take away. Because okay, let's get back to that. Let's get back to that point. One thing I've learned. One thing I've learned: never help out a man. He will resent you. You hear
Back.
me? If
Period.
he's in a situation, do not, ladies. I'm sorry, and I'm not finna. I hope men. I love y'all, but I'm sorry, and I'm gonna tell you why. When you help out a man, he resents you because he does not feel adequate when he's with you. If you're sitting there, because people got down in the luck and you're helping them, he's gonna resent you.
Yep.
He's gonna feel inadequate. He's gonna feel like I'm not man. She's doing everything. Because men don't talk, they think, and then they react, and they don't
Yep.
talk it out, and you don't know. When you're thinking you're doing everything right, in his
Men
mind,
don't
he's
let it leak
calculating.
out like this. Men will have something on their mind that
Hmm.
happened. Like maybe he has a little PTSD flashback of when he didn't have nothing and you had to pull through for everything. And then it will come out like there's too much salt on the food. What are you talking about? I didn't even use salt. I taste the salt and they don't want the food and they throw the plate. It'll come out like
Hmm.
that. It's like, what happened?
Right.
What happened? And the whole time is because you were paying the bills.
Exactly. And then what they will do, that's why most of them, you wonder why they cheat. Because when they go, okay, you know what? Perfect example.
Woo!
Wendy
Get all the
Williams.
way into it.
Yes, I know. Well, look at perfect example, Wendy Williams.
Yep.
Look what happened to her
Hindu.
with Kevin.
Mary J. Blige. I swear,
Okay.
Mary and freaking Wendy married the same dude. They
Mhm.
married the same man.
Mhm.
They have to go and get that side chick who they can give the world to because you gave them the world and confiscated their balls.
Exactly. And then what happens is that when they you help them, they elevate. They go to the next woman to feel like the man because you see. Okay, for perfect example, Wendy Williams. You see where her husband did. She was the one had the show, had the money, whatever like that. Because I heard that he was like a nickel and dime bag dude or whatever.
Mm.
And she got with him. Then she gave him the job and helped put his name on everything. He's not going to feel like a man. But guess what? He elevated on Wendy's money, her career, made a little something on him for himself on the side because he had to open up some business. Then he went to Sharina. So now when Sharina looks at him like the man, he feels like a man with her because she doesn't know, like he spent like his money that he created under Wendy. So when he went to Sharina, it's like, yeah, I feel like a man to her, but he didn't feel like a man to Wendy. Yes, do you understand?
I believe he was kicking Wendy's behind. I can't prove that.
Mhm.
It just when I look at Wendy, I see a woman who got hit. I see a woman who got talked to the wrong way. I see a codependent woman
Mhm.
who couldn't let go of her handler.
Mhm.
Sharina looks up to Kelvin. That big old ring on her finger, that car she was driving, that house he had the nerve to move her into in Wendy Williams's hood. She looks up to him. She trusts him. She's grateful for
Mhm.
him. And
But
no matter what happened, he never let her go. Whenever their relationship was exposed and whatever else, he was just like, I promise you I got your back. Like she's in love. She's gonna stay that way.
right, but that's what I'm trying. But that's what my whole point is because you see, remember when Kevin got with Wendy. This is the part what I was saying earlier with the resentment. You remember he didn't have much. Wendy had everything. You understand? So back to the point what I was trying to say with the resentment. When you help a man out, he resents you because he does not feel like that man because you helped him. So he's gonna react. He probably abused her because he was upset because I'm not bringing the money. I have to make my way. So now when the man makes his way, okay, remember he can't be that man back to Wendy because Wendy knew when he got him when he was broke or didn't have
Exactly.
anything. So now that he established himself in a way or he get money, he's gonna act like a man to other women. So the other woman looks at him and say, "Oh, he got money. Well, he's the man." Do you understand? The other woman looks at him now like he's the man because now he's holding something of himself. Do you understand? Like he started the business off for Wendy, so now the money that he made off his business, he's spending on the woman, and the woman, Sharina's looking at him like, "Oh, he's the man." But Wendy would never look at him as the man because Wendy knows that she helped him.
Absolutely. I mean, I can relate. I've been in a similar situation. Really quickly, I just want to shout out.
Mm-hmm.
I can't
I'm
think
not even reading the. Oh, okay.
when I think of a Renaissance man, like
Mm-hmm.
literally a jack of all trades. I don't know anybody else who qualifies for that more than Darren Marion. Darren just sent a super chat that says,
Thank
shout
you.
out to the ambition, push, 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 achieve, achieve, win, win. And I know that the super chat is because this conversation with you, Foxy, is fire. You are literally worth the money, you are worth the support. Consider starting a channel because like you have some stuff going on with you when it comes to your life experience to where you hold weight in these conversations. Some of us who are a decade or decade and a half, younger, sounding off on these things, we're kids. We're kids in comparison, and we're kids in terms of knowledge and experience. Whereas your stuff is hard to dispute because you live this. You're not new to this, true to this. But just a real quick shout out to Darren because I know there's a lot of talk about, Black men and what's going on. Like, I've not met a white, blue, purple, Asian, nothing that is as much of a Renaissance man as is Darren Marion, owner of
Oh,
Darren's Coffee because he freaking roasted himself,
okay.
artisan coffee, search engine optimization. If nobody ever heard of you, by the time you're done dealing with him, you'll be on the first page of Google. I've never seen a person who is so decorated when it comes to search engine optimization. Dr. Darren Marion, as in I got a football scholarship to college and then my master's, and then I messed around and stayed in school for long enough to be Dr. Marion. I just want to say, when I see you out here, Darren, with your unicorn self, you know what's crazy, Foxy? You know who the whole manosphere has blocked?
Who?
Darren Marion. Ain't that a bitch?
Are you serious? Because they're jealous.
I'm like, you niggas are talking about all this self-improvement and all the things you want to do for the Black man, and literally the nigga you need to be, you won't let in your chat because it's not a match. It's not a match.
Because they're jealous and they feel intimidated. That's why. But don't worry, baby. We got you. We got your back. You know what I'm saying? Iron
Big
sharpens
shout out to
iron.
Darren Marion. I mean, you would be surprised. Like, I don't want to tell all of his business, but over the years, I have watched this man financially support like a third of Black YouTube. Somebody says they want to start a channel. He's like, bet. What's your address? What do you mean? What's my? I'm sending you a laptop.
That is good. God bless you.
Straight up, good Christian, conservative, whatever it is, whole Negro, super duper pro Black kids, bliggity bliggity.
But that's a shame, Darian. Them guys are just doing it. They can't.
You can't find him nowhere. I would enter a chat and try to say something. I'm just like, dude, I don't see you. You talking to me?
God bless him. Darian, bless you, bless you, bless you, and you keep shining. And all this stuff that we talk is not you, so please don't feel
At
like that's why.
all.
And truth, oh God, truth is he's so cute, this little
Hey, I can't take
little
I can't
youngin.
take him and his keyboard. I can't take it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that because I even he's just amazing. Like I really like him as a person and how what he started and everything, and I just love that how he admit to his
Being
thinking of how
invested.
yeah.
It was beautiful to listen to him sit
Oh.
there and just own the dust.
Yes, and we need more men like them. Those are the men, and we respect women like us. Respect men like that because
Girl,
they
I do
show
have
great leadership.
I have such beautiful black men who come to my channel. And the thing is, you have to be, because you won't be able to take me unless you're that kind of
Mm-hmm.
black man. Otherwise you're gonna be offended, put off, whatever. I be having Evo Sosa over here. I be
Mm-hmm.
having Travis Greenard over here, him and his, with his lovely wife,
Mm-hmm.
Philly Kid, his lovely dark skinned black wife. Like I
Mm-hmm.
be having the cream that goes to the top of the little coffee thing when you have the crema and the heart and the body of the I'd be having the
Mm-hmm.
cream that goes at the top on my channel when it comes to black men.
Mm-hmm. And
Which
who's Travis? Travis?
Chevis Greenard is often in the chat.
Uh-huh.
And he just
Okay.
kind of shows up on different black women's channels. And oftentimes when he's on those channels,
Mm-hmm.
they're talking about black men, but he doesn't take any of it personally because none of it applies to him.
Exactly.
And I'm just
Oh,
like, in
he's so
reality,
sweet.
he's
Travis.
adorable.
We have to we have to really put them on a pedestal. Like these are the men that we love, okay? We don't like
Right.
to look at Dusty, no. So respect, you know what I'm saying? So I'm so honored and I'm happy because you know what is what's so funny?
Zero.
I know I know this is like a God's gift because everyone calls me to talk to me and ask for advice and
Yes.
everything. So I know this is this is for years. Everyone calls me. They're like, oh, um, well, Fox is a pet name. I had that name since I was a kid. My father, they used to call him Fox, so I always had that name anyway. People call me for everything. Oh, Fox, what do you think? With school, what school do you need? And I'll tell them a lot of them didn't know that. Oh my God, with the accreditation. That's why I had to show with Simply Stephanie because a lot of people didn't know that. I was so shocked that a lot of people didn't know about accreditation. Like I told them, when you go to the school, you got to look for the accreditation. That's what counts. And a lot of the women didn't know. Like people don't know. A lot of people don't know about the tricks. And some men do, like I was telling you about, the charming coming in and all because they want to live with you. And a lot of people don't know. You'd be surprised. People call me and say they've been searching stuff on Google. I find it in 1 second.
That's crazy.
I'm just gifted like that. I'm just a person. Like I said, I'm one who always fix things. People just call, talk to me about advice. I tell them what to do. And they'll be like, okay, that man come, then you need to kick him out. Oh, he has a woman. Like because I think I'm very I'm an impacts. I pick up on vibes and 90% of the time. Well, 90 you can say 90s. You can say 98% of the time. I'm always right. People come and talk to me, and I give them advice. I said, sure, that should be a reader.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what I told my mother, because she's 98% right too. I'm like, you must be miserable. It must suck to be right all the time. That for me, that would depress me because I'm such a
Hmm.
blonde. I'm a part-time blonde, So I have
Okay.
everything. I'm dopey, I'm goofy, I'm always happy. And I'm just like, if I had the superior intelligence of my mom, the superior intuition, I'm like, bro, I blow my brains out. Like that's rough to be right all the time. There's no mystery in life. My mom
Hmm.
will have never seen a movie before and predict not just the damn ending, but
Hmm.
even the plot from the first
Yeah.
scene. I'm just like, you must be miserable. Like, this is
Hmm.
fun for me. I'm crying watching this movie. Don't get me to watch Game of Thrones. Like, my heart is palpitating. I'm sweating. I'm passionate. I'm crying. Like, I'm talking like them in real life, talking about some bend the knee. Really, really, chocolate. I'm riveted. My
Oh
mom's a
my.
prophetess. I'm like, I can't do it.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry, but yeah, you
God.
definitely have a gift. I see you. That's what I was trying to say about Darren's, $100 super chat. I'm like,
Mhm.
it's because you're here.
Oh, thank you. And I don't want anything. I don't believe in that. I ain't asking for nothing. This is just free. Blessings come in many ways. I'm not expecting anything, so don't think I'm not there for anything. As for you, oh my God, I'm trying to find my hold on 1 second. Hold on. Oh, okay.
No
I think I'm
problem. We're
missing something
actually
here.
be wrapping up really soon. We've been here for about an hour and 35 minutes.
Yes.
So if there are no more questions for
Any questions?
Foxxy, if there are questions, go ahead and ask. And they come to my side a little bit later. I don't have YouTube open. I'm just straight up in StreamYard. So when they do have questions, if you see it on your end, go ahead and read them off and let me know. But there's a little bit of a delay on my end. But if no one has any questions for Foxxy, while they're asking their questions, would you mind not reintroducing yourself, but reiterating why it is that you have such weight when it comes to this conversation? Your experience and your education.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay. Because I'm seasoned and I'm very analytical. I have experience, a lot of experience. A lot of people that I know around me, of stories. I'm very analytical. I put two and two together, and that's it. It's just basically what observing, like I say, hearing stories from family or friends, uh, experience myself, and a lot of people agree with me.
So how long, you said your professional experience was like 15, 20 years or something?
Hold on one second. It's like this, my thing is here because I'm trying to charge up the phone. So
No problem. I see Lovey X in the chat, letting us know. Oh, what a cute picture. What a doll. There's a little bit of static on your end.
Yeah, that's the problem. I'm trying to hold on. Yeah, I'm trying to put. Can you hear me now? You know what?
No, you're still a little low. Shevis is calling me out. Shevis, I heard that it's a part of having ADHD is that we mirror quite a bit. When it comes to, we're extremely empathetic. So we literally take on the other person as we talk. I remember it was Loren who said to me, you need to do one-on-ones. That panel thing is not for you. So these conversations for me, by nature of who I am, are very intimate. And I'll just all of a sudden, coffee, necessary. And it happens all the time. I'm telling you, the person could be Hindi, the person could be Arab, like it could be speaking Arabic, it can be East African, Somali. Like my P's, my letter P will become a B. It's not paint anymore, it's bank. Like I'm sorry. And it can come off so offensive. But I can't help myself. I really am a chameleon.
Fine. I mean, but this was at a last minute thing as well. So next time, like we can have another show.
I need you to send me that information you were talking about. And oh my God, I would love it. It would be an honor to have you back.
I mean, yes. I mean, does everybody ask your audience? Do they want me back?
I mean, can we get some ones in the chat if you want her back? Ones in the chat if you want her back.
Yeah, I don't know why it sounds choppy.
Yeah, we haven't been able to recover your sound.
Like, oh no.
We haven't been. I mean, I can hear you, but I know everybody else can't because it's choppy. So we can actually end it right here. And look at this. Look at this. What do you? Digital V Media, Milky Way, Kimmy Ken, The Honest Truth, Lovey X. I mean.
I want to pick up everyone. I want to pick up your whole audience. Thank you for listening. I mean, this was a last minute thing, so next time I'll be more prepared. We'll talk about honest truth and nice to enjoy. Yeah. Your audience are very nice. I really appreciate each and every one. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's a blessing. I used to really lament some of the things that happen with me on YouTube, but my audience is hard earned. And they're really very, my audience kind of has I call it when you sort the wheat from the chaff. I really, really have decent people over here, and I'm too sensitive of a person not to. Um, Too sensitive, too compassionate, like, you know, so everybody over here, literally everyone I've seen here, like I could throw you to them and have confidence in how they would treat you and interact with you, like in real life or on YouTube. Everyone that I've seen comment so far,
Yeah,
they
and
really are
sorry that I
sweethearts.
didn't get through to a lot of people because I wasn't, the way how my thing was set up. I didn't get to see all the chats. So I just want to pick up everyone, anybody I missed. I'm so sorry. Big you up, guys. Thank you. We'll definitely, if you invite me, we're gonna have more topics. Somebody said about data scientists.
Yeah, that was Summer Bliss. You should check her out. Her channel is so chill.
Okay,
It's
definitely.
so
I'm gonna
chill.
check. I'm gonna check her out. I'm gonna.
And I need you to subscribe to Mocha Mommy. Mocha Mommy
Yeah,
is
I
next
just saw
level.
her. Okay,
Just
Mocha, I
the
got you.
best of
Anybody
them.
else? Anybody else? I'm gonna subscribe, of course.
Definitely framing femininity. This is our beautiful biracial sister. Dang, I just woke up from a nap.
Hey.
Yeah, we're wrapping up, sis. Sorry. But her channel's amazing too. It's really something special, framing femininity out here.
Okay, of course. And also too, I know a lot of people too that I put on. You see, like Simply Stephanie.
Yes.
And I told and I told her, I said, "Oh my God!" When I saw your name, I was like, "Oh my God, yes, 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 yes." And I said, "Yes, subscribe to her, subscribe to her." She
Love
honest
it.
truth. I gave around, my WhatsApp and say, "Yo, you're gonna watch this dude." Like I'm like that. So automatically your channel as well. My girlfriend, I don't know if she's on, but I told her. But that's the way I am. Like I like to spread the word. So everybody, you don't have nothing to worry
Absolutely.
about.
There is the part of YouTube that acts like the pharmaceutical industry in that they're only invested in keeping Black people sick because this whole gender war is their bread and butter. It helps them to eat. And then there
Hmm.
are the people like us who really want to look at the issues without being hateful, without throwing around, BT 1000 and Naker. Like we
Exactly.
really do it. Like, yo, if you're divested or invested, it doesn't matter. Like just kumbaya. How do we
Right.
fix it? You don't
Right.
have to marry me to be my brother. You don't have to have a preference for me. You can love white women. I want to throw rice at your little black and white wedding. I do. I want to
Hmm.
braid your little black and white kids' hair. Like you don't have to be like just let's still be a community though. Let's find the love, let's find the common ground, and let's do better. And
Yes, but
people will be
some
sad.
doesn't take accountability, and
Yeah.
that's the problem. They're not taking accountability. They always want to blame everything on us, and I'm like, well, we're your number one supporters. We always have your back, but y'all still diss us, and if you want to be with other race of people, okay, okay, fine, but don't be pushing us in our face and say, oh, this and that, and black women, they're no good. Like, really? I don't know what kind of woman they go after, but I just assume. So, all right, good night, everyone, because this phone is dying.
Oh, I
But
appreciate you and your dying phone. You guys did great, the both of you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, and everyone to the audience, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one. How many people in the chat?
We have 50.
50, 49 watching. I'm grateful for each and every one. Blessings to each and every one. So I guess next time I'm gonna have a hotter topic. This time I'll probably have to send you some slides.
I would love that. I
Yeah.
would love that.
And you're the best. I thank you. I so appreciate you. I
Hmm.
really do. Thank you. It's an honor. I'm blessed. I feel, oh my God, Stephanie and you, like you guys, I'm always forever grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. With that being said, I'm going to go on ahead and let our brown foxy out of here and also answer this question from Ada Honey because I think it's a good question. You said, how can you be a community with a group of men who don't value your person? Sis, we can't. We can't. We can only be a community. And that's why I said what I said when it was like, I don't have to be your preference. If you have a preference for light skin, white skin, whatever it is, that's fine. But you should still be my brother and you should still be invested in me wanting to be your sister. And men who are not, we can't be a community from them. And we do have to separate from them. So there are people, let's say there are certain people from the manosphere who might come on my channel are a bit more open-minded, you know, and who, when you get them away from the mob mentality, they show up as human and they show up as vulnerable and they show up as, you know, emotionally intelligent. But the people who don't, there is no being a community with them. You would have to hate yourself to subject yourself to that. Some people you just have to cut the hell off. But just like every Black woman isn't a BT 1000, whatever, every Black man isn't a nigger. That being said, my little prayer alarm has gone off. Womanpreneur readings. Hey you, Kimmy Kim, Mocha Mommy. Just subscribe to Zero. Kier is on some facts with our sister Ada. Have a great night, Shabbos. Good night, Womanpreneur readings. We can't be a community with men who don't value our person, and we're not supposed to be at all. Like, they're supposed to be ostracized and basically thrown away. There's no reason to diss your own race because you're dating people from another race. Facts. Like, dude, like, I think it's kink. That can be another conversation, but I think it's actually a kink for certain interracial couples that are Black male, white female, that Black women, they're hoping we're jealous. Like, they're baiting and fishing for us to be jealous. And when we don't care, they're like, how dare you not care? And it's like, dude, I don't care. All right, then, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Definitely communicate with me in the comment section about what you want to see, what you want to hear. And if you want one of these Uppity one-on-ones, it would be my honor to give it to you. Just email me, uppity@uppity.com. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. If you want to talk, I want to talk to you, right? I am Uppity. And I'm out of here.